Hello and welcome to Connect the World. I'm Linda Kincaid in for Becky Anderson. Good to have you with us. Let's get straight to our top story. We start in Gaza's largest hospital, now the scene of an Israeli operation on the front lines of the war. Israel and US officials have accused Hamas of hiding a command center below the hospital, a claim Hamas and doctors there deny. For its part, the Israeli army says it's found no signs of hostages at the Al-Shifa complex, but the troops are still searching. The IDF released this handout photo of what it says shows troops in operation near Al-Shifa hospital, although CNN is not able to independently verify when and where these images were taken. CNN's Ed LAVENDERA is following developments for us and joins us now from Tel Aviv. Good to have you with us, Ed. So this operation at Al-Shifa hospital now well over 12 hours. Has Israel found any evidence of Hamas control center under that hospital?
Well, CNN just spoke with the spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Force, and so far no confirmation of any signs of a hostage or hostages inside the Al-Shifa hospital. Right now, Israeli military officials have been saying that this is really a military operation specifically targeting the command and control structure of Hamas military fighters that it believes is operating in large part underneath this massive hospital complex in the heart of Gaza City. As we've reported on, this is the largest hospital in Gaza, a very significant location. For years, the Israeli military has believed that Hamas has operated in a series of complex tunnels, largely underneath much of this hospital. And that is why they say that this is a very precise and targeted military operation. We were told by Israeli military officials that soldiers have gone inside the first floor and the basement areas of the hospital. Inside the emergency room, supervisor told CNN that what they are seeing inside is simply horrific. That they can hear the cries of children and older people, as one Palestinian journalist described as violent gunfire erupting between fighters there inside of the hospital. The Israeli Defense Force just told us that they deny that any exchange of gunfire has actually happened inside the hospital. They do say that there was some initial fighting with gunfire outside of the hospital grounds before the Israeli military entered. But this is clearly a very tense situation in a military operation that has been going on, as you mentioned, Linda, for well over 12 hours now.
Yeah, exactly. And Ed, Israel has said that Hamas has lost control of the north of Gaza. What exactly does that mean? Because they're saying they lost control both above and below ground.
Yeah, it's hard to, I think, fully grasp exactly what that means at this point, but this is coming from the defense minister, the Israeli defense minister, who said that this is now the military operations inside of Gaza are entering a second phase. But clearly, as we've seen and been able to report, as our colleague Nick Robertson was able to get inside of Gaza with an Israeli military unit, and you can watch from the images that he brought back and his team brought back from all of that, you could see just how much control Israeli forces have on the ground. They're able to move and navigate certain areas of Gaza with their tanks and their military units. In areas you do hear, and they did report on hearing a kind of constant exchange of gunfire in many places. But clearly, over the last week, Israeli military forces have been able to move deeper and deeper into Gaza, and they say this is all a very slow and deliberate process to try to dismantle the Hamas military operation.
And just quickly, we saw mass protests yesterday calling for hostages to be returned. We also heard from US President Biden saying that it's going to happen. He certainly sounds optimistic. What more can you tell us about those negotiations?
Right. It's hard to say. As you mentioned, President Biden has expressed optimism that a deal is going to happen. There have been some other officials who have suggested the same. Some Israeli officials saying last night that they were a little bit more skeptical. Obviously, this comes as a great ordeal to the hundreds of family members who are still waiting for any kind of news about their loved ones and these hostages that have been in custody there in Hamas for more than a month right now. But we do understand, according to various sources, that there are some broad parameters that have been put in place for a hostage negotiation, which could involve exchanging a large number of hostages, perhaps not all of them, but a large number of them in exchange for some Palestinian prisoners held here in Israel, and also including several days of ceasefire. Now, Israeli officials have said that there would be no ceasefire without the release of hostages. So this has been kind of a very thick line that has been drawn in the sand here. Israeli military officials very concerned that a ceasefire would allow Hamas fighters the time to regroup and attack their forces. So this has been a very delicate and tense negotiation that has been going on for weeks now. It's not exactly clear whether or not this is really actually close to getting done, though. Linda?
Okay. Ed LAVENDERA for us in Tel Aviv. Good to have you there on the ground for us. Thank you. Well, distraught families of hostages taken by Hamas are on a 5-day march from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. It's a show of frustration and despair that ends Saturday at the residence of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They say they want answers and action from the Israeli government. A huge crowd in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday also called for the release of the hostages and voiced support for Israel. One woman with several family members being held by Hamas said despite her anger, she's still sympathetic with Palestinians in Gaza.
For too many, it feels like to care about one family, to love one child, is to diminish the suffering of another. But the simple human truth is that you don't have to choose. You can abhor the suffering of Palestinian families and the suffering of Israeli families like mine.